All this Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Falken Tires and their associate sponsors.
What a way to wake up for the first round of the Falken Polo Cup. We've had the first lap not even completed in qualifying, and you can see behind me the car's all waiting to go out after a red flag situation. It is really atrocious conditions. Yesterday we had ideal conditions for all the practice sessions. Unfortunately, it's turned into something wet and snotty, and that's not what we need when we've got brand new Falken slick tires out there. These guys and girls are going to have to be very ginger in their first round at the attack of this championship.
Frantic action down in the pit lane now as they've got to change to the semi-slick option. Tactics are definitely going to be vital.
Yeah, but that red flag ruined it. Jeff apparently also had a good
So it looks like the red flag was definitely an issue there, and the slick tyres might have been ideal. One man who's going to have a problem is Justin Oates. He hasn't got his tyres fitted.
Seems like there's not enough weights for everyone, so we're probably not going to go out. So at least we won't start at the back for both races. I'll start at the back for race 1 and then try and make it up so I can have a good starting position for race 2. That's a bit unfortunate, but I'm not going to go out now.
Yeah, I mean, I went out now in the slicks for the installation lap, sort of, and yeah, very slippery, I must say. So yeah, we're going to have to try ease into the session, just build on lap for lap and try to get quicker. But yeah, it's very tricky conditions. The track's very greasy, but yeah, it's going to be quite an exciting qualifying session, I think.
Sure, it's going to be an exceptionally exciting qualifying session now. You can see Oates' car still parked on the sideline. The Harp Racing team are still going to try and get that out there. Look at this, it's drifting here at the redesigned Dezzi's Raceway. The guys trying to get as much grip as they can, but these wet weather conditions that have pulled in here in the morning are not ideal. And you can see some concerned faces on the side of the pit wall as these guys and girls are out on track trying to get the ideal lap in. Brad Liebenberg stepping up into the Volkswagen Motorsport Polo for the first time. He comes through in second place. Jean Gerber battled a bit out there, and it's Jeff Krueger who was quickest. Now we head into Superpole. Under the auspices of the new Volkswagen Motorsport team there, Michael Steven and Eric Schultz. The first man out will be Matt Shorter. He made it into the top 6. He's got to try and get a little bit quicker than that, and his brother's also looking to get a little bit higher up. Look out for Liebenberg as he starts to eat up these laps. And it's great to see that man out there as well. Stian Kriel stepping back into Polo Cup after a little bit of a time off. And now looking to go into this big mix with Brad Liebenberg taking the first Super Pole of the year. Right up on him though was Jeff Krueger and Stian Kriel. But Brad Liebenberg is the man.
Very tricky conditions this morning for qualifying. I don't know what you guys were even thinking out there. And you got it wrong on your fast lap, but didn't matter. You still got Super Pole.
Yeah, it was a bit tricky. Luckily, I just kept it on the road-ish, kind of. Dropped 2 wheels, but yeah, I made it up on the rest of the lap, and yeah, I was happy. 0.7 of a gap to Jeff. Yeah, like you said, it was very tricky. A lot of concentration, and yeah, luckily I got it at the end.
Lucky draw time now for race number 2. Where's Brad going to go from pole to 6th place? That didn't work out for him. Oh, Jeff goes from 2nd to 5. I wonder if we're going to go in numerical order here. Yes, we are. Jason down to 4. Oh, but Shorter takes an absolutely awesome pole. Stian Kriel, he'll be in 3rd place, and Campos 2nd.
The return of an ex-champion, and what a return.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for more. It was an extremely tricky qualifying session. I couldn't see anything personally with the fog on my windscreen, but I'm happy to have come out on top. The team have done an incredible job getting the cars ready. Big thanks to Etienne van der Linde, Sean van der Linde, Express Hire, as well as Armand and Polyjohn. Without them, we wouldn't even be here.
Dude, I don't want to say this, but there's an oak upstairs that's pretty happy right now as well, hey?
Yeah, and this pole's also for Dad, so let's go get it for him.
Man, you're one of the luckiest guys I know, and it certainly went well out there in tricky conditions, but even better here on the draw.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I mean, we had the half a lap in with the slick still. Had that lap stuck, we would have obviously been clear of a few cars, but there were a few of us there. Going out in the session was tricky. A couple of mistakes were made. Unfortunately, little Matt Shorter pipped me on the last lap just to get me out of the top 6 for the Super Pole. And then fortunately to draw 2nd, I'm obviously more than happy. And let's go racing.
Welcome back to Falken Polo Cup action from Dezzi's Raceway in Port Shepstone. First round of this championship is going to be absolutely awesome to watch. And let's catch up with the Volkswagen Motorsport boss man to find out what the changes are for 2019.
Great to be down on the coast for the first round of the Extreme Festival with Falken Polo Cup. Falken, new sponsor on board. We're really great, very pleased to have them on board. We've got new teams, new competitors, We've seen some very interesting lap times at the start and in the first session today, with much faster than we were the last time we were here. And I think we're here with a different car, but we're also here with the Falken slick tyre, and I think it's going to be interesting racing tomorrow. We're very happy about the growth of Polo Cup, and I think it's just testament to the way we manage it and just keep our competitors happy, and it's a place that they want to be.
And as the cars lead off on their sighting lap now for this first race of the season, let's have a quick squiz at the grid. Brad Liebenberg on pole position. Alongside him will be Jeff Krueger. Behind them, Jason Campos and Chris Shorter, making a welcome return to this series. Stian Kriel's ahead of Matt Shorter, and then it's Keegan Campos and Yuri Swart. Jonathan Machotsi, Clinton Besaidnout, Local Boy, Dario Busi and Jean Gabba. And then it's Damien Hammond ahead of Rice Ismail, Elton Bow and Delon Thompson. Justin Oates just ahead of Jana van der Westhuizen, Nathan Hammond and Shivy Bassoon. And Darren Oates and Cameron O'Connor at the back of the field. We've got a green flag at the back of this grid. There's Cam O'Connor's car, the Repro Supplies machine. Also a new man to Polo Cup, coming out of single-seater racing. And away we go, down towards turn one. Look at how tight it's going to get. This 3x3 already heading into this brand new Dezzi track. And as they come under braking, expect to see some big action. Oh, look at that. Liebenberg runs wide, completely off track. Outbrakes himself, comes across the new kitty litter and falls in about 10th or 12th place there. So the pole man, unfortunately, having big problems there. They come down in the corkscrew for the very first time, and they're going in there 2x2. There's enough room there now to go in 2x2, as they've made a massive effort to widen this part of the track and give the guys a chance to get a little bit more room to play. Yuri Swart under big pressure here. We're on board with them as we go in the Alpine Auto House machine as they come through here. And this is absolutely incredible. Keegan Campos further up the road, trying to find a way through here. And you can see, whoa, he's having to fight hard there with Swart. Can he find a way past? No, he can't. Just behind them, Machotsi tucks in. Then Rice Ismail side by side there with the DAF Trucks car there of Jean Gabba as they come through there. No, in fact, Jean Gabba a little bit higher up. That was Shivy Bassoon he was fighting with. So you can see that these cars are just so evenly matched and locked together in combat. Jana van der Westhuizen, third of the Comcare cars, starting to put some pressure on all the way from Cape Town. They head up the hill towards the southern loop now. And as they come into that big loop, you can see there's just pressure being applied from behind. A lot of guys just holding back on those push-to-passes. They've got 5 of them to use. I think if you're at the front end of the field, you might use them quite effectively. But if you're not, you're going to have to just be wary and use those tactics correctly to try and get past the drivers in front. It's very difficult to pass here. And that's exactly why we're seeing almost line astern exactly how they started, other than Liebenberg, who had some issues on the start, as we saw. Big move on the inside there. Yuri Swart trying to find a way past on Shorter. Shorter slams the door, and that Munro Bumblebee car of his. Oh, this is a good move here from Chris Shorter. His brother just up the road, looking straight back at his younger brother, and then just squeezing out Stian Kriel. Kriel, welcome back to Polos. This is what it's all about, buddy. Tucking in now and trying to find a way to close things down and get back at the man from the AE team, and he's under pressure from his teammate. Oh, the two Shorter boys won through, and they won through rapidly. Stian Kriel shuts the door. Won't allow Matt through. He's allowed Chris through, and you can see Chris is getting away. So Matt Shorter now with some work to do. He's got to go on the attack, but he's got to be wary of the defensive maneuvers as well, because behind him he's got Campos, Yuri Swart and Machotsi. Machotsi was side by side there. Campos might just capitalize on that and get through. Yes, he has. He's just been able to find a little bit extra to get through there on Jonathan Machotsi, and Machotsi now under attack from Dario Busi. Busi's all over the back of him as they come through over the dam wall and into the Paradise Curve. Hard on the brakes, Busi diving through. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Take that. The young Carter is holding nothing back here. Cape Town is in the house, and they are back in a big way here. As they come up under braking now, triple right-hander in the southern loop of the circuit. And as they come out of this one, it's a sharp left-hander. They've evened it out ever so slightly. It's not such a big bump on the inside, and there's a lot of room to play, as you can see on the outside there from our aerial shot. Well, we haven't really seen them, but out front, Krueger and Campos are disappearing. I don't know if anyone's going to have what it takes to catch Jason Campos or Jeff Krueger for the lead and for second place. At this stage, they come back into the northern loop, and looks like there might have been a little bit of a problem there on Yuri Swart's car. He's pulled to the sideline, so maybe a little bit of damage there. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong. Here comes Liebenberg, though. He is all over the back of Busi and trying to use Dario to find a way past on, of course, that is Machotsi. And with them comes Elton Bow and the DAF Trucks car there of Jean Gabba. Oh, a tap from behind. He wasn't happy about that. You can see him look immediately in the rearview mirror saying, what is going on from behind there? Not quite sure who gave him the tap. I think it was Oates. Yes, it was. Justin Oates giving him a big rub from behind, and Elton Bow soaking it up with no worries. Here's a maneuver from Liebenberg. He's up on the tailpiece now of Busi. This is a super battle here in this mid-pack. And the Volkswagen Motorsport star looking for a way through there. Can he find it? Yes, he can. Dario Busi gets the motor down one position, and Liebenberg up one. ticking them off one by one and making up some ground. Jean Gabber trying to go with him. He just couldn't quite get enough room to squeeze out Dario Busi or Mokotsi at that point. Mokotsi just holding tight. Altenbourg under attack. And there you go. Justin Oates squeezes him out eventually. Here comes Clinton Mercedes-Note. The local man who I thought would be a little bit higher up in that Glyco signature car hasn't quite got what it takes here to run with his front pack. But with these new cars, and speaking of new cars, new drivers, Damien Hammond out of shape in the Trinity security car, opening up the door and allowing the repro car through there of Cam O'Connor and his brother coming around his outside, trying to find a way past. Speaking of brothers, well, here's the first of the brothers. And the turn one car there of Jason Campos under attack from Shorter. Shorter looking for a way through. Chris Shorter and Jason Campos are great mates off track, but of course on track, they are rivals. Chris Shorter using a slightly wider line, trying to cut the apex and gets through. Now going to try and drive around the outside as they head down the hill towards that very tricky double right-hander. Look at the drive though. A little bit of push to pass I think might have come out of there. And I think Jason Campos used it to perfection just to open up that 2 car lengths on Shorter. Shorter under attack from Creel. It's a fantastic battle here between these three. An ex-man, of course, 2 current men, and an ex-champion fighting hard for honours here and potentially the final spot of the podium. Chris Shorter looks like he's got a little bit extra in hand there, and maybe he's going to try and catch Jay out here. Jason Campos just going defensive at every single manoeuvre. Creel waiting to pick up the pieces. He's tucked in behind. Out front though, Jeff Krueger has not been troubled at all. He used all his push to passes early on and got through the field and literally disappeared at the front end to take the first win here in the Falken Polo Cup at Dezzi's Raceway. Across the line he comes for the Universal and Comcare team. Team Red Racing taking the first victory. That's exactly what he did last year. Remember, he took the first 4 victories of the season. Looks like he might be looking to do the same here again. Right behind him though, check it out. Campos just hangs on to keep out Chris Shorter and Stian Creel, and in fact, even closer behind that, Liebenberg and Mokotsi. Oh, there's some problems there though. Let's have a look at the replay here. Jarno van der Westhuizen getting up close and personal with Rice Ismail, and Ismail slamming him into the wall. Jarno went on the inside and Rice didn't see him coming and he just turns in on him. And Jarno just gets put into the wall. Oh, he's not happy. And understandably. So let's have a quick squiz how that all ended up. But Krueger is the man and taking the first victory of the season. Confirmation of results. Jeff Krueger ahead of Jason Campos. Chris Shorter coming through for 3rd place in the AE car, beating out Stian Creel in the Motormart car. Liebenberg for Volkswagen Motorsport ahead of Mokotsi. Yuri Swart eventually recovered to 7th, beating out Jean Gabber in the DAF Trucks machine.
Brad, a little hard into turn 1 there, but it looked like through the race you had a little bit of brake issues.
Yeah, to turn 1 I hit the brakes and the pedal just went long and managed to come back a little bit, and then the rears went, and I just managed to keep it on the track. I managed to salvage off some of the moves that other people made, but it was just mainly down to the push to pass, just using it at the right time in the right places to surprise some of the guys. But I was just a bit worried with the brakes, and it's a bit of a shame because starting on par I was hoping to convert that with the race win. I think I had the pace to do so, but at the end of the day, this is what we could do, and we take it from there in race 2.
Those first race butterflies are now gone, but I think you scattered them all around the track amongst every single one of you because there was just non-stop action, mate.
Yeah, look, it was quite crazy. Racing a bit in my mirrors, I'm a bit upset with myself, lost contact with Jeff. So yeah, it's a bit sweet. Great to have this result, but obviously not great to lose by such a margin to Jeff. So yeah, got to go still work on it.
So Jeff Krueger, an incredible outing for you on the first outing for Falken Polo Cup. Didn't quite go according to plan to get that pole position, but didn't need it because it was a big mistake from Brad, allowed you to then control the race from the start.
Yeah, Greg, I was this morning in qualifying, didn't all go to plan, but I mean, we were still on the front row, so we were very happy with that. And heading into turn 1, I was alongside Brad, and unfortunately outbraked himself, and that allowed me to sneak through on the inside. So yeah, it's racing, it's part of the game. So from there, I just sort of kept the gap and brought it home. But it's a big credit to my team, Universal Healthcare, Team Red Racing. They put an outstanding show here this weekend. And of course to my dad for his help and support. And without them, definitely couldn't be standing here. So thanks to them, guys.
What an incredible start to this championship. That is race 1 done here at Dezzi's Raceway. And man, did we have some phenomenal action. More of the same, but as you can see, the weather is coming in and potentially we could be wet for race number 2. Let's see what happens after the break. Welcome back to Dezzi's Raceway. Race 1 was phenomenal. As I said, turn 1, we already saw action as Brad Liebenberg went to the brakes and there weren't any. And he unfortunately ran wide, allowing Jeff Krueger to sneak through and take the lead. He then disappeared into the distance and was very difficult to catch. The battle was for second. Campos was in there, Chris Shorter was in there. Matt Shorter initially, he unfortunately fell back into the second group, which was starting to heat up there with Dario Bussi and with Yuri Swart, a big protagonist in that second group. So it's going to be interesting stuff to see what happens now in race number 2. Race 2, with potentially a bit of wet weather coming in. Let's see what happens, because I see there's going to be a bit of a change up in the front of the field as well. After that lucky draw, the 2 polemen went to the back of the field, and Shorter is on pole.
He's going to be a difficult man to beat if he's on pole, Chris Shorter, because he's been in this situation before. He knows exactly where to place the car. He's already had opportunity to have a great dice in the first heat. So let's see what he can do now to try and capitalize and make that pole into a win. Fantastic to see a big crowd coming out here. In fact, one of the biggest crowds Dezzi's Raceway has ever had. It all played well to come and see the first round of this Falken Polo Cup. Stian Krill will be looking to get up there and have another fight, stepping up for the first time into a full national championship season. And then his future brother-in-law right on his tail. That should be interesting, as Jeff Krueger tries to use a little bit of family advantage to get through. Liebenberg's got to fight it all on his own, though, with those top 6. And let's see whether or not he can do something with Jason Campos, or potentially look out for that front-end battle, because I tell you, this is what Falken Polo Cup is all about. We have 22 evenly matched cars. Anyone can win as they head down towards turn 1. And look at that! Jean Crab is trying to win it on the first part of the track as he dives and nearly clumps the side and that concrete barrier on the inside. The DAF Trucks car trying to find a way through there. And that was on Dario Bussi. Oh, Hammond running wide there. Damien Hammond just not getting it right through turn 1. Welcome to Polo Cup, and welcome to Polo Cup, Stian Krill. Lots of love, Keegan Campos. There you go, tapping him out of turn 2 into turn 3. They're still side by side. More side by side action behind there. Oh, that's sideways. What a maneuver there. Sure, that is Yuri Swart at his finest. And I don't think he was able to quite understand what happened there, but there was a big tap between the two of them, and he was on 2 wheels again. That's the second time he's been up on 2 wheels for the weekend. So at the front end, you can see it's a big, big tap here, and now it is more action, expected more. Machotzi was the man who instigated that tap, of course, with Yuri Swart. And now they come into that. Let's have a quick squeeze of the replay. There's Machotzi on his inside. He just runs ever so slightly wide. Oh, those 2 tires. Well held, Yuri Swart. That's the right thing to do, but if you get up onto 2 wheels, drive into it, don't drive away from it. Otherwise, you're going to end up on your roof. So Swart, very lucky to survive that one. Out front though, Shorter getting away from Campos and Campos. Then it's Jeff Krueger who's managed to squeeze through there on Liebenberg and on Krill. Krill now looking straight back into the clutches of a 3-way battle. Make that a 4-way as he's got Liebenberg on the outside. Here comes Besaidenote around the outside of Machotzi, and you can see tucked in between the two of them was Matt Shorter. This is fantastic camera work here from Krill as he gives us some action as they come into turn 2. The local boy is a little bit higher up this time. Shorter diving on the inside now, looking for a way through. Can he find it? No, he can't. Dario Bussi's tucked in behind him, also looking for a way on Machotzi. Behind them, Iceball. Oh, a baptism of fire there. And here is the local man. He's had hours on the circuit, so he's certainly going to know where to put a car and how to get it to the front end of the field. And that's exactly what he's trying to do there in the Glyco Signature Motorsport car. Tinder Besaidenote is certainly a man to watch out for, and he's now following Brad Liebenberg through there on Stian Krill. Krill going sideways in the Motormart machine and just loses a little bit of ground there to Brad Liebenberg. Out front though, the 2 great mates off track now fighting hard. Keegan Campos higher up than what he was in the first one. Better start from him, having been a little bit higher up on the grid. His brother tucked in behind with Jeff Krueger applying the pressure. 5-way battle behind that. That is for 5th place on track, led out currently by Liebenberg. 1 and 2 come into the northern loop. Then you've got 3 and 4. Here it is. Liebenberg, Krill, Besaidenote short to Machotzi. Dario Bussi with Justin Oates. He's got through this time on Alton Bow, and Alton Bow is now side by side with Rice Icemile. Behind that, you can see Darren Oates starting to make a welcome return into this, and we haven't seen him in the first one, but we definitely see him now. Rice Icemile under pressure from him, and looking left and right, shaking his head. Well, Rice Icemile, I don't know why you're shaking your head that much, buddy, but yeah, there it is. That's the reason why. Darren Oates was giving him a big thump from behind and forces him wide again into turn 1. He loses out 2 positions as DeLon Thompson squeezes him out too. Oh, problems here for Nathan Hammond. Hammond is spun out in the southern loop. And, well, hopefully, no, he's not in a good position. They've called a red flag. Hammond going to make his way back into pit lane. John Gabber's down in pit lane as well.
Car started overheating, so let's call it a day before we cause too much damage to the car. So, I guess that's it.
Big loss there to the field, but a lot of cleanup to be done now as they get it all sorted out. Great work from the Kyle Army and Dezzi's Raceway marshals joining teams this weekend to ensure we've got great racing and safety all the way around the circuit. What a start here! Hello! Campos is not holding anything back. 2, 3, 4 positions off that restart and now ready into the attack at the front end. Look at this, it is still Chris Shorter from Keegan Campos, Jeff Krueger, Brad Liebenberg, Stian Krill, Jason Campos side by side with Poseidon, who dives on his inside into the corkscrew and makes his way past. Justin Oates now trying to come through on the inside of Machotsi, forces Machotsi wide. And Machotsi will have the inside line for the next turn, the right-hander at the top of the hill. Justin Oates getting forced a little bit wide there by Machotsi, and eventually Machotsi cements that position, gets through and starts to chase down on Shorter just ahead of him. Heading down the hill, watching those rearview mirrors. Don't want to open up the door too much because he knows that they are in very close attention. That's how close they are. It's Dario Busi, Alton Bow, Oates, and looks like DeLon Thompson. Didn't see much of him in the first race, but he's certainly in the mix now in the second one, in the third of those Universal Healthcare cars. Behind that, he's got Rice Icemal. Alton Bow still side by side with Oates. Well, there's no love lost between those two, is there? And Oates now getting a little bit of a return of the medicine that he gave to Alton Bow in the first heat. Yes, there you go. Bow not holding anything back and squeezes him wide. Alton Bow and Justin Oates going at it. That is proper great Falken Cup action. And some of the best stuff you're going to see all season long. Ross Aspel once again. Oh, a big attacker here. He taps somebody and then gets a bit of a return of the favor from someone else behind him. There's non-stop action in this Falken Polo Cup. Icemal, unfortunately, out of this one by the looks of it. And that's a big pity there for the Volkswagen Motorsport team. Stian Krill back on board with them now as he looks to close things down now on the back end of Liebenberg. Can he find a way past on Brad? He has loved life in this full season now of Polo Cup, and he's looking to get to the front end like he did in his regional championship a couple of seasons ago. He's got his future brother-in-law all over the back of him looking for a way past. Wonder if there's going to be a little bit of team tactics there between the two of them. They're not in the same stable, but they're certainly going to try and help each other out, I'm sure. Shorter has done it all to perfection here. And I did mention at the beginning of the race that he's going to be a tough man to beat if he's on pole. He knows exactly what to do from that kind of situation, and he's done it to perfection. 4 or 5 car lengths over Keegan Campos. Campos is still under attack there from Liebenberg, who hasn't quite given up just yet. As they come to the checkered flag, it looks like that's how they're going to finish up. Shorter going to be taking the win there. Keegan Campos coming through for the second spot. And this is Chris Shorter's first win after his sabbatical. And you can see and hear how happy the man is on board there. Congratulations, Chris. Welcome back to Polo Cup. And what an opening round for the Falken Polo Cup. That's the kind of action we want to see and we're going to see all season long. With the 2 separate starts in race number 2, the combined overall results there for race 2 go to Chris Shorter ahead of Brad Liebenberg. Jeff Krueger comes through for 3rd place, beating out Keegan Campos with Stian Krill behind him. Tinda Mercedes, Matt Shorter and Jonathan Machotsi making up the top 8.
We definitely noted the wheel spin from Alberton on the start line, which kind of cost you a little bit.
Yeah, I had a bit of a bad start off this round. Unfortunately, I had to use a push to pass to sort of just worry about the guys behind me. For some reason, it got me alongside Chris and into turn 1 side by side. And Chris overcooked it a little bit. He ran in off the road. Luckily, I didn't lose any positions in that case. And then I saw a huge battle go on behind us. So Chris and I were able to eke out a gap and sort of focus on each other's race, try get past him and see how we could race. And then, luckily on the restart again, a decent start. And then, fortunately, I had a little bit of a tap with Jeffrey down, I think, at turn 10. I don't think he went off too bad. The car runs wide on the outside there. And then, overall happy compared to race 1. I'm happy to finish second.
Well, we spoke to you at the beginning of the day and you were pretty emotional about getting that pole position. You must be really, really feeling it right now. And I know the Big Daddy's looking at you and saying, that's what we want, boy.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is for him. That was an extremely tough race. Keeps kept me very honest. He would use a push to pass and catch up. But luckily, I saved mine for the restart. But I think having to win 2 races there with that restart was very tough. But I'm so chuffed to have got it over the line. And just, again, a huge thanks to Signature Motorsport, to Ronnie, to Etienne, to Sean van der Linde, to Express Hire, to Polyjon and to Armal. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be here. So thank you for the opportunity.
After action like this, you definitely don't want to miss Swartkops Raceway's round of the Falken Polo Cup on the 6th of April as the Extreme Festival of Motorsport heads back home. All this Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Falken Tires and Volkswagen Motorsports.